Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and typically it starts with 10 seconds.
But not in Iowa. In Iowa, it starts with hands-on helmets.
Helmets. Yes. Welcome. I think episode 37 or so. We're getting up there.
We are. It seems like 36 was yesterday.
It does. I was just thinking that right before we went live.
But a lot going on. On. So, yeah.
Well, then I just saw you a couple days ago too. So,
aren't you? So you've had a good week, haven't you?
I have. You know, my back's pretty sore from carrying that win.
My neck's sore because of that win too.
So yeah, Andy and I went to Knoxville, got to spend some time with some of the track crew guys, and your wife joined us. Go down and did a little slideways beforehand.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What happened there?
Yeah. Well, that little kid ran into the back of us, it got sore. But hey, I really want to say, how cool was the races?
Good. It was good.
Those were some good races this weekend. Jack had a good week, ups and downs, but you're going to have that just getting started. So, yeah, Knoxville was really fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, good turnout.
Yeah. That worked out perfect, didn't it?
Yeah. Anything else going on your end?
Yeah,
I know you skipped right over the important parts. I'll let it slide. That I was challenged. I was challenged to a race, thinking that somebody was going to school me at slideways, and I had to put the hammer down and show you how it's done.
Are you there, Chris?
Yeah.
Internet must be bad right now. I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry.
My boy said it was because you're getting old. That's why I won.
Oh, oh boy.
Take it or leave it. But yeah, good weekend. You guys got a big event coming up this weekend.
Yes, it is. It's my youngest, Brock, be the final one of my childs to get married this weekend. So we get officially welcome Beth into the family, and yeah, looking forward to a really good time this weekend.
Good.
So happy for him. Yep. I literally just got an update that we're going to share here in a little bit, but I just wanted to look at it really quick, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. I apologize, but
nothing like that.
Excellent update. So very, very happy. So
yep. So we have a couple Jason Mickelson Century 21 highlights, racer highlights tonight. In addition, we have Powersport Share. Can I get fired?
Hey,
I'll forever slaughter that. But hey, extra acknowledgement of the name.
Those little clips will help out because it's those, what do you call those little bleeps, where you said it wrong and you finally get it right. Bloopers? Instead of saying it once, you're saying it 2 or 3 times. So that's what counts.
Yeah. So I got Ryan and Aaron joining us again. Yeah, we're going to go over and talk a little bit about mixed race, kind of the events turning in just from a Saturday show to a Saturday Sunday show.
Yeah,
and then talk a little bit update on the Heartland on what you got brewing on your side.
Sounds good. Sounds real good. So
our Jason Mickelson racer highlight person has not showed up, so we can kind of turn some things around. We can just go ahead and bring on Aaron and Ryan. They're sitting available. Go ahead and talk with them real quick.
Yeah, is that something you can check on the other one then?
Yep, I'll check.
Okay, sounds good.
Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys?
Maybe.
Are we gonna get Ryan's video this week?
Oh no, it's not doing it again, is it?
I told him earlier today, I said, do you want me to come over and help you set it up? And he's like, no, I got it. It's all good. So we'll see.
Oh no. So
Yeah.
you know how all the businesses and everybody, they have those little characters, like the
Oh yeah,
or the little. I'm encouraging you to do a little cartoon of Chris McKean being your like spokesperson, to talk about Power Share Sport, Powersport Share.
There you go. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm telling you, he can sell it for you.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think we lost Ryan altogether again.
Oh man.
So yeah.
Well, hopefully he can get back on here. But
Hey.
There we go.
There he is. Let's go.
What's going on, fellas?
You want to introduce yourself, Ryan, since first time we've ever gotten to see you?
Yeah, so I'm Ryan, one of the founders of Powersport Share. So I want to thank everybody for letting us come on, and man, we are excited.
Yeah.
We are.
Glad to have you guys back on, and we can see you both now, so this is really cool. We got Aaron, it looks like, in your what is that, like a Boeing what do they do? Build Boeing planes or something? Looks like in the back.
The hangar, yeah.
You're completely under construction there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
That's cool. So obviously we can't thank you guys enough. And I know you're taking a big task on with doing this and then coming on board with us the same year. And we're excited about all this. The last race, we got to talk about you and stuff. And we had told everybody that we had an open invitation for you guys for every single week. So if you have an update or anything, would love to, hear more about it. The riders would definitely like to hear more about it. Would like to get some more people signed up, including myself, have to get signed up here. So I guess we'll get right into it. Can you guys give us an update on where, do you want to say it, Chris?
What the progress of Powersport Share's website's going?
There it is. He said it right the first time. Let's go. Hey, it's great. We're really excited. If all goes well, this is the week that we'll be wrapping up development. We had a list earlier this week, yesterday, I guess. There was about 20 items long of things that just needed to be finished up before we could launch. And we whittled that list down to probably about 6 or 7 things. And we're working hard to wrap that up this week. So we're hoping to launch at least by next week, if not sooner. That's the goal right now. We've been working hard at it and just trying to make sure everything is buttoned up and working well so that when we get users on the site, there's no frustration. Things just work like they're supposed to and make it the best experience that we can for people.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
As part of the launch, those of us been on the waiting list will get some sort of notification.
Yeah. So we're planning on sending out a blast email when we launch, and there's gonna be 2 emails. So people that signed up to be a host, they're going to be invited to come onto the platform and get their vehicles listed, get their accounts all set up. And we'll be able to help walk through that kind of stuff. We'll have support ready to do that. And then for guests, just letting them know that, hey, this is launching. It's going to take us, a little while to get hosts on the site and get their vehicles listed and, verify everything. But that we're going to keep updates coming and kind of keep a newsletter rolling out to keep people notified of what's happening and when they can start renting vehicles.
Gotcha.
And when you say vehicles...
No.
Yes.
You got more than one, right?
Well, I didn't know what Chris was signing up for. He has I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but he has a very famous Prius.
Oh,
And we've had fun with him over this. And I was just curious, I know you don't give people's information out probably, real easy, but I was just curious if he signed up to be able to share his Prius with somebody if they were in the Des Moines area.
I think they got like a rideshare.com, don't they? So do it. I think that's one thing that we're kind of tightening up loose ends is protection for the people that are posting their equipment, is making sure that they're protected as far as identity and all that. That's one thing that they're working hard on. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, identity is a big thing, and making sure that we don't give away information. We obviously don't want to just post the location of ATVs across America and have a bunch of ATVs get stolen. So we've got things in place to make sure that until you've actually rented a vehicle, that's when you get the location of the vehicle. And so things like that, and just making sure that we're protecting all of that secure information. One of the great things, we're partnered with Stripe, and they handle all of our identity verifications. So they're making sure that people are who they say they are on the site. So when people sign up, you identify or you verify your identification. And so when someone says, my name is this and I live here, you can trust that that's the case. And so buttoning up those security things and making sure that everything's safe, both for hosts and for guests, was a huge priority for us. And that was one of the main things that we didn't want to fumble that out of the gate. Obviously there'll be things, over the course of the coming years where we're tightening up things and making the experience even better as we collect user feedback. But, overall it was like, if we can make sure that, that information is safe and that there's never going to be any kind of problems with data, then, that's the number one goal. And from there we can, button up the user experience and make it really easy and nice for people to use. So.
And I think we want some feedback too, people
absolutely
get on it. That way we know. I mean, we're kind of shooting at the hip on this thing, and doing what we can, but we want feedback, good and bad.
100%
bad, but we want to hear it.
We spent a lot of time on developing we call it the support center. And so the support center, you can submit, tickets if you're having an issue with, I can't log in, or I can't. I'm having trouble renting a vehicle, or whatever your problem is. You can submit a ticket and we can respond to it and get a hold of you. And then we've got a section for reporting bugs. So if you find like a glitch in the site, you can let us know and we can jump right on it. So we're definitely looking for feedback from people. And so as we launch, we're just going to encourage people, play around with the site, find out what you like and what you don't like. Maybe there's a button that's kind of hard to find or something, and you'd like to get to that place easier. Like, we want to hear those things, because however we can make it easiest for people to use, that's, obviously better for everyone, because if the host can list their vehicles, then renters can see them and everybody makes money. And, that's what we want to do.
We want the site to crash where we launch. That means
yeah.
I'm glad you're walking us through this, because I'm sure other people maybe thought this the first time you guys were on, when you said that I want to make sure everything's worked out and that we don't have any problems. Yeah. I always say that, I know you said that, and Chris and I said that about ours, and ours isn't nothing like what you have. But the first thing that I thought is there's going to be mistakes. That's how,
absolutely,
no matter what, we're going to have it. And I thought, man, I hope they don't wait. But, I'm glad when you're explaining this in more detail now, because that's stuff I think a lot of people would never even think of. It would be an afterthought, and then that could actually keep them from wanting to maybe do this, so hearing all this, that you guys are thinking, way ahead of the game here, and the personal information, and like the renting and knowing where it's at. I mean, that's cool that you guys are that far ahead of the game, before you even launch this thing. So I would have
ideas that we want to do, to integrate it, but it's like, let's get launched, and it's going to be constant improvement. It just takes so long to implement everything. So we know there's going to be improvements, and we're going to be adding things, I think, probably the next week after we launch. I mean,
absolutely.
Everyone has good ideas.
When I talk about that list has sections where it's like, these things need to be done before we launch because they're critical. We've got another list that's like improvements that we'd like to make. And then we've got another list that's like ideas for other apps that are similar to this, and so, like I'd mentioned last time we were on Boat Share, or, that's another one that we're looking to maybe do in the future. And so, for us, it was just like we kept running, and probably to Ryan's dismay, we kept running into things where we'd talk it through like logistically, and we'd be like, well, we can't do that. We got to figure this out before we launch because that's not safe or that's not secure. And I mean, we kind of talked through like hypothetical situations and like anything that we could think that would break this thing, and just tried to button them up before we launched. So,
and believe me, I'm on them. I think I'm emailing you guys every other day. Are we looking, fellas? Are we getting close? But
yeah, for sure.
They want the same thing we all want. I mean, we want it to be perfect. And,
absolutely.
And it just takes time. I mean, this is a big undertaking of what we took on. I mean, this is huge. So
yeah,
we pre-launched a year ago, and we're like, we don't like it, so we shut it down right away within a week or so. Like this ain't going to be good. So we completely threw that in the trash. I mean, and started all the way completely over. So
yeah,
it's been a long process, but we want the customer satisfaction. We want people to get on it, enjoy it, like it. We want to make the experience good for each party. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
There's going to be hiccups. We know that. We're going to be honest about it. So
yeah,
and most of that's going to be Aaron's fault why we have hiccups. But
so Ryan, I got an idea for you. I just thought of is I have Chris for this kind of stuff, but you have your brother, and if you maybe once we get this all sudden and done, you're ready to release it, and you let your brother try to get on and rent something, and if he can do it, I'm gonna guess anybody can.
Well, he doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna make him put his machine on it. So
there you go.
Oh, you know what? I'd like to be the first one to sign up for it.
You should, because if he doesn't know it, I'll just sneak in his shop and take pictures, and I'll post it myself. So,
Very cool. Hear that, Chris? We're going riding.
Well, I'll drive.
And he's going racing next week.
Heck yeah. Very cool.
Can't see anything going wrong there at all. Nothing at all.
Well, I think the last time that I was with you guys, he bumped something. Or was that you that bumped something with the windshield or something? I can't remember.
Well, that had to have been probably him. Could have been me.
Right.
Well, I know we did take it out there when we were in Stockton. I know we did run the course, I think, before the race and after the race.
Yeah.
But our lap times weren't even close to the main boys, so we better practice a little bit more.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. So
do you have anything that's really, I don't know, like you think that's like maybe what do you think is going to be your biggest moving item for you? You think it's going to be more the side by side?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, just I want to target. We want to target. A lot of people go on vacations. So it's like, do you want to take your machine if you own one or if you don't own one? I mean, people still rent machines. At rental places. So it's like we wanted to make it so, hey, you come get my machine, you take it wherever you want. I mean, you're renting it for the day, by the 2 days, whatever. Take it. We don't care where it goes. I mean, long as that agreement's set. We want the user experience better than just going to a rental place and say, okay, I have it back in 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Our main thing was, have it for 24 hours if you can, so.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if rental places want to sign up for Powersport Share,
absolutely,
we'll take it. Come on. So it's an opportunity for anybody. I mean, we talked about reaching out to distributors and sales places of these vehicles and just saying, hey, this is a tool for you to help sell them. And for people interested in buying it, it's like, you're going to ride it and it's going to be fun, but it's going to sit, you're not going to ride it 24 hours a day. So you might as well make some money off of it too. Why not? Right.
I mean, let's face it. You guys know what these things cost. I mean, it's $30,000 all day long.
Right.
Well, it is an asset. That's a liability. Well, turn that in to make some money with it. That's what gave me this idea. I mean, I look out to my shed and see it sitting there. It's like, man, I don't have the time to ride it like you thought you did, especially owning a business, just the time wise. So it's like, well, if they can go out there and make some money, somebody that can't quite afford a machine, a $30,000 machine that rides it once a year, well, you're better off to rent it for, a few $100 a day and move on. So
yeah,
we're
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you guys, I'm sure I did, but when I was in the industry selling and stuff, we had at least once a month, if not once a week, there was, people would come in from out of town and stop in and just say, hey, do you guys rent or know anybody that does rent,
Yeah.
So I know they're coming into the shops asking that. It wouldn't have just been us, and anywhere that there's a park, I'm sure they're getting more requests for it,
Right.
And I don't know any of the dealers that do it, but at the same time, being a dealer before, I would look at that in a way that says, hey, if these people have an opportunity to rent something, more than likely they're going to fall in love with it and then want to buy something, so I can see that part of you guys' game where you're helping the dealers out too, if they look at it in the proper way.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
So Ryan, I'm going to get with you. I'm working on something that hasn't been even talked about yet. We're going to focus on our preferred dealers. We have about 6 dealers that we deal with from the series. We used to deal with as many dealers as we could, and we found out that we really can't do them justice if we're talking about the guy that's right down the street from them as well.
Sure.
So we picked 6 or 7 dealers that we deal with, and we're going to have a kind of a hang tag for them, basically. And they don't even know this yet, but I know it's going to be something that's going to work out for them as well that we're working on. And it might be something that we can't team up with you, and maybe we can include Powersport Share in that just to get the name out and let people see it. And I think if we talk to them, in the way and let them know, maybe get, you guys to talk and stuff. And I think you could be a huge asset for all the dealers as well. So
yeah, no, I agree. We've talked about that, in our team too, about we just go talk to these dealers. I mean, what are you out? I mean, to me, it's a win-win for both parties. And even, I look at up north Wisconsin, even the dealers up there that rent them out. I mean, it's free marketing for them as well. I mean, so I'd love to find a spot up there where I can keep my machines and just constantly run them out up there, for people, but to find the right people that can do it, when you're not there, I should say. So,
yeah.
So no, we feel good about it. I mean, it's going to take some time, and we've been patient for this long. So it's like, we're just going to, keep moving forward. And I think it'll be a good deal. So, I mean, people get groceries delivered to their house, for God's sakes. I mean, we want it to be convenient for people. That's what it's about.
Exactly. Yep. And let's be honest here, 90% of these machines that we see now, probably 40 to 50% of them are 4-seaters now, at least, if not a 6-seater. I mean, you can take that to grocery store and get more groceries than you can, say, in a Prius. So, I mean, they're amazing now. And I still think, I agree with you guys 100%. I think your side-by-sides is probably going to be your number one asset, However, I think one of the most intriguing thing is, from a guy that sold my snowmobiles 5 or 6 years ago, because we don't get snow, as much. And the only place I can really go is if I go to Minnesota or Wisconsin. I see that as really inviting now to what you guys are talking about. If I don't have to buy a sled and I can go up somewhere and, and lease it or rent it, and stuff. That's probably the most intriguing thing for me, to be honest, is having that snowmobile on something that, I don't have, or, I don't have no desire to have one when I'm just not getting the snow in our area, but still love doing it. But
so Aaron, can you write that
really
down?
Cool.
Because I've got 2 snowmobiles that he can rent out next winter. So write that down.
All right.
Rent snowmobiles next winter. So
all right. Sounds good.
Chris, we're going snowmobiling too.
We went out to Idaho last year. We went out. We haven't been on sleds in 20-some years, and we're out and bought new sleds. We're out to Idaho, and boy, I tell you what, that was an eye opener. 12,000 feet.
A lot of work, isn't it?
Barely breathe, and I told everybody, I said, Last thing I want to do is get stuck in 10 feet of snow. And what does Chris do? He gets stuck. So we can't walk to him. We had to roll to him because, I mean, you go waist deep in the snow. So I hope he's listening because we're throwing him on the bus here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris, I gotta. This is really weird, but I've actually got to take a quick call for something tonight. I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'll explain why while these two are on here. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna step away for just a second. Sorry.
Bye, Andy.
No. Great.
So no, I was thinking. I think I'd like to have the Powersport Share team come down to Mount Pleasant. I think that'll be a close one. And I looked at the schedule. What's that? Is that? It's a couple months yet, isn't it?
No, it's June 28th.
Okay, yeah, end of June. That's right. So,
So and that's kind of one of our. It's a 2-day event. So we've added dirt bikes on Sunday. So we're gonna have, which Andy and I will talk about more later in the podcast, is we're still trying to work out details, but ATVs will be on Saturday for a national qualifier on top of our race, kind of a joint effort. And then Sunday we'll turn around and we'll have dirt bikes. The local club, Valley Dusters, I'm forgetting their whole name, but motorcycle club down in Mount Pleasant is going to help us put that on for dirt bike guys to also qualify for the NRA national race. So
yeah, that'd be cool. Have dirt bikes there. That'd be different.
So.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I'm excited for you guys to launch and then kind of get things underway. And a little curious, I'm always to see what's out there, what's going to show up. So
yeah, we're really excited about it. And one of the things that we're really hoping to do is target like specific areas and try to figure out like how we can get like as many people in a specific area to list. And then we'll just promote the heck out of it at those areas. Because, it's a nationwide app, but there's going to be vehicles, in key locations. And so we need to promote those places. You're going to search for New York and you're not going to find anything because we don't have contacts in New York yet, but eventually we will. Yeah. But it's one of those things where like, we want to really try to target specific areas at first and really promote those and help people, as a host, like we want to help promote you because really like you're kind of a business owner when you create a Powersport Share account, like you're renting your thing out, like this is your business. And so if we can help you connect with people that want to rent your vehicle, then everyone wins. So
and that might be something, Aaron, that you can explain good about the business owner. I mean, that you'll get a 1099, you'll see, you can see on our app exactly how much you're making per month for the machine. I mean, Aaron can explain it.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's nice. You'll see what you're making. Yeah.
So that's the great thing about our partnership with Stripe is Stripe handles all of the payments and they include a dashboard. It's built into our site, so you never leave powersportshare.com. But you'll be able to see, how much you've earned in any specific period. You can search for that. You can see, how many rentals you've done successfully, how many you've turned down, how many, you can kind of like filter all that stuff and see it. And then at the end of the year, Stripe will generate a 1099 for you. They'll send it right to you. They handle it all. It's super easy and it's all automated. So it's like you just log in and see how much money you made.
Nice. Good. Good. All right. Well, as always, I'll the door's always open. Andy made the invite at the last, I think a couple weeks ago when you guys were on.
Yeah.
He was more than welcome to come on and give an update, maybe after it launches again.
Oh, hi, Andy.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Great.
Sorry, I had DoorDash getting delivered.
Got his groceries coming. No.
Go ahead and say it, Chris.
No.
Yeah, I know. That's something that we can talk, every week, if it works in our schedule, every week might be tough on our end, just with so much going on, but we want to be on as much as we can, so we'll just, stay in touch and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, once we get this thing launched, we're gonna want to hit it hard with promotion and stuff. So I mean, we're happy to come on and just share what's new, and we're gonna create marketing materials and stuff as well that we're gonna really try to push and really just spread the word. Just get people on this thing. I think it's really gonna be a fun thing to watch people connect, and there's going to be friendships formed, and it's going to be a really cool thing to just build a community. So we're excited about it.
No, I see great things coming. So honestly, I'm just proud to be a very small part of this, to see you guys. It's like you guys have already planted the seed now, and we're just going to sit back and watch it grow.
Absolutely.
So you got to start it somewhere.
I'm excited for you guys. So
thank you.
Yeah. So while you're on here, Ryan, I know it looks like Chris might be watching. So Chris knows I would never walk away and take a phone call, but we're going to talk about it right after. While you're right on here, though, Ryan, I know this will be something that you're probably aware of too, but I put a couple texts out before we went on tonight. Earlier today, and was just trying to get some updates, and we haven't talked about it very much, out in the open, because I didn't think it was, it wasn't something I need to share without permission, but I just got a return phone call from Brad Mapes.
Okay, good.
And I wasn't gonna not take it. So
yeah, no, I hear you.
But as you probably know, we won't get into detail at all, but a lot of our listeners, our riders, probably haven't heard this yet. But it's just something I want to make sure we get out there and ask for all the prayers that we could possibly get from him right now, because he's definitely in need of it. But if you're not familiar with the situation, and that's where we met Ryan and Chris and everybody over there at Stockton, and the Mates family, a great family that, reached out to us when we were in dire need of, we'd lost a track, was trying to find one, and went over there and just had a great 2 or 3 years over there of it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of good people, even your brother, I still consider him probably a good guy, But anyway, we developed a big relationship with the Mapes, and they've raced with us for some time, and I know they were planning on coming and racing with us this year until we had an issue with our side-by-side insurance. But unfortunately, Cam was involved in a really bad motorcycle wreck a couple weeks ago, and he's got a very uphill battle. And anyway, things are, like Brad had told me a couple days ago, the small wins every day is very, very important at this stage right now. So we're just got a little bit more good news from him. Things are heading the right direction. Just like I said, won't get in much detail by no means. Just want to let everybody know that Cam's in very rough shape right now, and could just use literally every single prayer that we can send his way. And everybody knows. Exactly. And we've been very fortunate with another individual that in our series, it's had a situation like this, and we got great news for an update from him here in a little bit. So completely believe in the power of prayer for sure. And it's just one of those things where, like I said, Brad and I was just talking. I would normally not take that, but it's one of those things we've been kind of, a couple of it, Chris knows and a couple of our guys knows, but we just haven't been wanting to share it, to everybody with not knowing exactly. And Brad and I was just talking. It's like, man, the more people that know right now, the more prayers we can get coming his way. And that's the only thing that can really.
Yep, that's right.
We just need it right now. So sorry to put a downer on you guys, but I know you got some connection there and stuff, and we're just all pulling for Cam, and and the whole family's in our thoughts and prayers for sure. So
that's one thing, I'll say, we've been in the racing world for many years, more in the dirt track racing, but I'm here to tell you, when you get a racing family together, it's family from first place to last place. It don't matter who it is, but if anything can pull together, it's racing families. I mean, that's a fact.
Yep.
So power of prayer makes wonders. I know that. So he will do a full recovery.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we can make fun of the little shit.
Well, maybe that's an invitation for Brad to do his racing again next year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
we look forward to that. Gosh darn it. He's, and he just raced. I think he went out to Indiana and raced. And I was just watching his updates, on, I think it was IXCR or one of those two out there. He went out there and raced, and I just looking at his updates, on how he did. And then the very next day is when that happened, yeah, just, it's amazing how vulnerable we all are. But then racing seems to be one of the most safest things because we have the safety equipment on,
that's right. Yep.
It's unbelievable. So, but anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming on. We're honored to be a part of this from the ground up. So, if you need a test dummy, Chris is always here. We can.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. It's great to be a part of the family. And so for people watching, powersportshare.com, get on the wait list, and we'll be launching soon.
That's one thing I'll add to that. I do know.
Hey, there it is. There's the banner.
I think we were on 2 weeks ago that, we did see a lot of activity as far as Facebook likes and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Listen, we haven't been pushing any of that yet. I mean, it looks like we might have 20 people, but we haven't been pushing it. So we appreciate everybody, checking it out, clicking, like button. That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let us know when you're.
Aaron's going to say, "Hey guys, it's launched. Let's go."
Yeah,
that's right.
Aaron, give us a heads up before you do that, and then we'll try to get as many people watching as the first day it comes out, and get as much attention as we can for like that big old. Chris is always really good with the what do you call it, little sound effects and everything. We're usually 10 minutes late, but he always has it. So
love it. Yeah, that sounds great, man.
So sounds great. Well, thank you guys for giving us your time. I appreciate it.
Have a good week, guys. All right.
Thank you. Cool.
Well, thanks for. I had a feeling that's what it was, that you're stepping away, but glad to hear. It's an update. Hopefully, we get some more progression to the right way, and prayers for him.
When we say there's been a lot of progression so far, it's very tiny little stuff. Like Brad said, little wins every day means a lot, so. But boy, he's in a delicate situation, and just he just needs literally every single prayer he can get right now. So yep. We got another update I'll give here in just a little bit, but I know we've had a gentleman waiting, so I hate to put him off too much longer, but man, how cool is that though, really, to get involved with Powersport Share before it even gets started?
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. That could just think how many people that could bring to even our sport, or, maybe not even just our sport, but just our recreation, period,
Yeah.
It's just such a cool situation. So
yeah, maybe one of our racers might have, an extra machine sitting around, throw it together out there on the site, and somebody can come race it. You never know.
So. Exactly.
All right. So we do have Jason here. I can go ahead and we can bring him on and do our Jason Mickelson Century 21 Racer highlight.
Sounds good.
Welcome, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Uh-oh.
I think some audio. You may be listening to the podcast as well as well, there's his face. We have multi-competitor in the B class this year, second place at Fort Dodge, and first place at oh my God, where was the last race at? Corridor.
Uh-oh.
I'm muting him again here while he's trying to figure out his.
I thought he had picked up 2 wins already this year. Maybe not.
No, round one went to Craig Carey in the B class. Jason got second place, podium finish at Fort Dodge, and then won at Corridon.
Gotcha. Are you there, Jason?
Nope.
We got really, really bad connection.
He's trying to do that robot voice.
Yeah. I keep hearing that he is a robot out there. No one can believe how fast and consistent he is. Now maybe we're finding out he's shedding the skin and he is a robot.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, we got major issues, Jason. It's like there's some kind of a static coming.
And you guys hear me?
Well, that's a lot better.
Oh.
All right, I got a headset on, so
Yeah. Well,
Good.
welcome, Jason.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot. I got to make a change.
Oh my, that's the second time he's
Oh, hey,
I said I had to remember that.
yeah.
We were talking the other day, Chris, with Jason and I had somebody had told me a little bit of history about Jason, and sure enough, come to find out, Jason is quite the wrestler. I want to say was, but I want to say still is quite the wrestler. Away from the racing and we found out he competed and did really well up at what's the name of that school?
University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
Stevens Point, yeah. So I had to give him crap and just wear a Wartburg hat, So
I was going to look up to see if I wrestled any matches against Wartburg, but that's quite a while ago. So
yeah, no, all in fun. So Jason, you really just kind of blasted onto the scene this year. I maybe I've met you before. I hate to say if I don't remember, but I remember at Trenton this year. You were on the podium.
Trenton, I didn't run. I ran Fort Dodge. I ran
Fort Dodge.
at second there.
Yeah.
And I ran Murray last year. I ran in B class and made the podium at the end of the season last year. So that was the only one I ran last year. But.
Okay. Well, man, you've been just right there this year, and it's been pretty darn impressive.
Thank you.
So how do you stay in shape? It's obviously that you're staying in shape, and you didn't even look tired after the 2-hour race.
No, I actually felt great after the last race, but I run a few times a week. Ride at least once a week pretty hard. We got a couple local private tracks we ride on, and I do work out wrestling and stuff too a couple times a week. So stay pretty busy. So
Very nice.
I like to compete, so whatever. I was getting a bad idea about trying to do a marathon, at least a 5K, but not sure if that's the greatest idea. I did have knee surgery back in December, so it's a little bit of recovery. That one's actually good. The one they didn't work on is not the greatest, but
yeah.
So
Wrestling and racing tends to do that, doesn't it?
yeah, probably a couple of the worst things you can do. So
yeah, but isn't it amazing how the two sports help each other? I mean,
they do for sure.
I have a hard time with that sometimes. I think I start preaching when we start talking about this, but there's just so much mental part of both of them, and I just enjoy it. And I see people that do both of them, and it really carries over, one helps the other one. So just guys, always interesting to see it, I guess. So,
yep.
But so Jason, yeah, thanks for coming on. And then, I think we're ready to get going, but, as we talked earlier, this is just a thing where it's just kind of a fun thing. We kind of ask you some goofy questions and, and just first thing that pops to your head, and it's just a way for us to learn a little bit about you and maybe stuff that you don't even want us to know that we're going to learn. So, but we just have a little bit of fun with it, and we appreciate you coming on and doing this.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris,
So, yeah, in addition to racing hare scrambles, what other kinds of racing do you do with your son?
We ran the national series for MX last year, and we can compete at the national level. We had my boy got a concussion down in Georgia, took him out for a couple of races, and I had a decent year until Briarcliff, and I got a helicopter ride out of there, so that kind of ended my MX series last year. But
gotcha.
Other than that, we just play around and tear up the neighborhood and have fun. So.
And you're from Wisconsin, correct?
Yep, Medford, Wisconsin,
Medford.
North
Central Wisconsin. Okay. All right.
Cool.
A little bit of a drive down there, but not too bad. So,
how many hours is it to you to say?
It's around 8 hours, pretty much. Like last week
really?
was about 8. So it's when it comes to racing, like the National MX, that would be a close race. So Sunset's the only close one. So, so it's not bad driving to Iowa. Anything around 8 hours is kind of a nice trip. So be better if it was closer, but good enough. So.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and get started, Chris?
Sure. Since you're Wisconsin, it gets cold in the wintertime. I thought this one would be fitting. Is soup something that you eat, or is it something you drink?
You eat it. I like thicker soup. So.
All right.
What's your favorite racetrack?
Oh.
And it could be any of them, not just cross country.
Probably Pleasure Valley was probably the favorite MX track we had.
So since that
last
was your
week,
MX,
what's that?
What's your favorite cross country one you've been to then?
Actually, last week was probably really one of my favorite. I really liked how it flowed through the woods and a lot of drifting, and the tight stuff was a little tight, but I'm not super fast there. But the open areas were fun and a few anthills. But no, last week so far was probably my favorite. So out of your series. So.
Oh. Huh. Would you rather be 12 inches tall or 12 feet tall?
Oofda. Probably I'm closer to the 12 inches tall, but so I'll pick the short.
Andy, so
I get enough crap for not being real tall, but on the upside, you don't need as much horsepower to pull you around if you're not as big. So.
So Jason, what is your hidden talent that we may not know about?
Boy. I don't know if it's a hidden talent. I'm pretty disciplined about what I do, so I guess that kind of serves me well. But if it's really a talent, I do like cooking a lot, and I do cook pretty darn good food. So, but my kids complain it's too spicy. I do like jalapenos in about anything. So, I'd say cooking's probably my hidden talent. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what brand of machine do you currently race?
It's a Suzuki chassis. This one has a KTM 350 in it, so it was kind of a new something different. We have a few different CRF builds and Suzuki chassis, and I had a brainstorm about I wanted electric start for cross country, and somewhere along the line came the KTM idea, and it was a battle. So, but it's paying off now. So it runs very good.
Huh. So if you had to pick one, we talked about your favorite race track outside of family, because obviously that would be number one. But who is your if you had to pick your favorite ATV racer of all time?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Joel Hetrick back on the MX side of things. He's a super. He's the goat of MX for sure, and he'll talk to you whenever. It's pretty darn neat. So
Nice.
Okay. So you're a pretty healthy guy. What's like something junk food wise that you'll tend to eat every once in a while?
Cheddar jalapeno Cheetos are kind of my favorite right now.
Okay.
Sticking with the spice, huh?
Yep. Anything with jalapeno in it, and the Cheetos are hitting the spot right now. So.
Well, if we ever go out sometime, you can have my spice, okay?
You do get used to it, and then it gets boring, and then you need more heat. And I load my popcorn up with cayenne pepper, and
Holy cow. Jason, we may never go out to eat.
it's supposed to be good for you. It lowers your cholesterol and stuff. So,
Oh boy.
If that's what's working or not, I don't know. But.
Yeah. So, with what you and I have talked about with your racing and your wrestling, and and you've been through all the ups and downs of it, if you had to go back and give advice to your 10-year-old self, what would you advise yourself of?
I guess getting more seat time, because we didn't get into racing real early on, so really in the last 5-6 years. So everybody talks about how do you get better and getting seat time no matter what you're riding or what you're doing. Just be out there doing it and figure out it can be fun on running a 90 or a 250 or 450 or whatever. It's just being involved in it. However you can get involved in it, and it all leads to experience and makes you better. And we do all our hybrids. We build our own stuff, our own mounts and whatnot. So being involved in it that way, and every nut and bolt we turn ourselves, and it just helps us know what we're doing. So if you can be involved mechanically, and not everybody does that, but it seems you just know it better. So
What kind of shocks do you guys use?
depends what we're running. Predominantly Elkas on EMX stuff. We got on right now we're running just revalved and triple rate stock LTR shocks on the fronts. Seem to work well for us. So not the greatest, but they're definitely a lot cheaper version than running the Elkas. So, but we do have an extra set of Elkas, and I'd like to make a long travel stock A-arm setup for experimenting. So it's kind of one of the next projects, so we can adjust our caster and hopefully handle a little better in the tight stuff. So always a project.
Yeah. I'm guessing you don't set still very long, do you?
Not very much. No.
So I'm really interested in this one because we have fun with this kind of stuff, but you and I have the same likes, it seems like, with the racing and the wrestling. And so I'm excited to ask you, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Probably Gone in 60 Seconds, actually. That's a favorite. I've watched it plenty of times.
Yeah.
What's your favorite car in that movie?
Oh, come on, Chris. That's not even a question.
Eleanor.
What other cars in there, Chris?
Well, Eleanor is the most famous, but how many cars did they have to get in one night? 50.
Yeah.
50, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Not 49 and a half, but 50. So
it all leads up to one.
Yep.
So my brother-in-law actually has that same car. And I remember him kind of halfway complaining when that movie came out because he was in the building process. And that movie had nothing to do with what he was building. He'd been doing it since high school, but he said all the parts went up for that car right when that movie came out. So, All right, Chris. Let's go one more and then let's get to the rapid fire.
I think you own your own business, right? Is that kind of what I did some little research on you?
Yep.
If
Logging
you opened a store, what would you sell and what would be the name of your store?
Ooh, boy.
Random. I'm just.
If we could do what I wanted, we'd probably build quads for people and custom quads, but then probably something, I don't know, along the line of, I don't know, custom builds or something like that.
Wow. And you say your last name was S. Malchow? Is that
Malchow.
Malchow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so my last question for you on this part of it anyway, what is on your bucket list?
I want a national title in something, whatever it may be, whether it's cross country racing or MX racing or wrestling. So any one of them would be good. So
well, we can tell you're driven for it, so there's no doubt in my mind that you can definitely see that here in the near future. So we definitely wish you luck there.
I got to get past having a few setbacks along the way, but I 2 trips planning to go out to Vegas to wrestle, and I separated my ribs last spring. The day I was getting my tickets for Vegas, so that ended that trip, and then last July when I crashed at Briarcliff, that took me out of Vegas again. So for my wrestling, so
gosh darn.
Yeah, I need a better year, but no, I'm back doing it. So,
huh.
All
right. Well, let's get on to the. Do you want to do this one, Chris?
Nope. I'll let you do rapid fire.
All right. So these are just kind of 10 fun things to let us know a little bit, and just first thing pops into your mind. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Favorite drink?
Bubbler.
Favorite food?
Venison steak.
Favorite singer?
Probably like Jason Aldean.
I'm trying to think of what you're going to say on this next one. The only thing I can think of is Chili's, because I'm going to ask you what your favorite restaurant is.
Oh, Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. Favorite sports team?
I'll take the Packers.
I'll let you redraw if you want.
Yeah, what's your
oh shoot. Favorite ice cream?
Vanilla. Just depends on what topping.
some spicy?
Nah, haven't gone there yet, but you can probably find something.
Okay, if you could have any car, what would it be?
Oh man, I've always wanted like an old Ford coupe, or a Roadster, something back in the 30s, like an old 3-window coupe.
Yeah. Okay, fun one here. Would you rather have a talking pet or a cleaning house?
I'd try a talking pet. So I got a girlfriend that's pretty good at cleaning the house. So
Better keep that one.
yep, I'd like to.
Would you rather fight a giant spider or a giant snake?
Oh, I hate spiders, so I'll deal with the snake. So
Do you have any snakes up in your area, or is that too far north?
we have some grass snakes and pine snakes and stuff, but I'm not a fan of spiders whatsoever. So
well, that was fun, Jason. Appreciate you willing to come on and let us have fun with you here for a while. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely made an impact on our sport, and especially our series, and I look forward to seeing what the rest of the year can do for you. And we ain't got any national championships to offer you, but we do have a regional championship with the Heartland Challenge AMA regional #1 plates. And then we also have the state championship, which is the AMA #1 plates from the Iowa State Fair race. So, and then of course a local championship with the series. So never know, you could pick up at least 2 AMA championships and a state championship. So
Yeah, any championship's good. It's winning and competing is definitely what I like to do. So as we talked last night about doing the Ironman portion of it, that would be interesting. So
Thinking about running the Ironman.
It's in my head, yeah. So
well, I definitely see Jason as a guy, probably one of the, I respect anybody that looks for competition. I lose respect for the ones that run from competition, and so I'm excited to see whether you're in Vegas wrestling or you're racing with us or somewhere else. I know I'll definitely be looking for a Jason Malchow. So I'm excited to be following you from here on out. I'm glad you made the trip down here, and part of our series now we get to claim you. So
yeah,
you're in Iowa, Wisconsin, Chicago Bears fan. So
ouch.
But no, it's good competition, right? Bears versus Packers. So
yeah, it's always a good rivalry. So
yeah. So what's it going to be this year? I'm asking about your competition side of things right now. First game, what's it going to be?
It's got to be the Packers. So.
You ready to put something up on it?
Yeah, hair versus hair.
What? Hey,
hair versus hair.
Stop. I was gonna say you come back on the podcast and wear a Bears shirt, or I come on with you and wear a Packers shirt.
Well, that's kind of fair, I suppose.
I thought hair versus hair sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, just having fun, but no. Well, thanks again, Jason. It's been a pleasure. So
yeah, thanks for having me on, and enjoy running your series and good competition, and looking forward to the next one. So
cool. Well, good luck, and look forward to seeing you.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, Jason. Well.
Well, Jason's he's a very interesting guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some pulled up his Facebook page and don't know much about him. That I don't think I personally met him before. So yeah, I was just looking at his Facebook page, kind of get some more information about him, but very involved. Kind of exciting to see what he's doing with his son with the motocross racing.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting, and I know you can make fun of me when I say this, but when you're attracted to somebody, you kind of get that grab. What I mean? It's like pulling you towards them for some reason, and when I start talking, Craig Crary and I was talking about him. I'd ask a couple questions, and obviously I'm big into wrestling, and then I find out the stuff about him and his wrestling past, and still doing it, and wrestled at Stevens Point where my boy wrestled at Wartburg, just all these little stuff. He's short, I'm short. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just really cool, all the similarities and stuff. And I love seeing him be so competitive. And I don't want to use an age situation, but just, I think when you're competitive, you're always competitive, and I love that. So really cool. And yeah. And once again, definitely want to thank Jason Mickelson, Century 21, for this portion of the podcast, and love having him on there. And, Chris, I'm going to go back again. What, we talked about there a couple times ago was they came on board to really help out this year, and they sell houses is what their whole game is, and
yeah.
And talking with them, I know we announced that, but if anybody buys a house, sells a house to them, refer somebody, if you know somebody that's buying a house, refer them to Jason. And just a little bit about Jason really quick, Chris, as well as I do, when you were racing. That's right. Chris McKean actually raced when we started this series. And you probably raced with Jason, didn't you?
Yeah, on track at the same time. Yeah.
Yep. different classes. But
Yep.
so Jason used to race with us. He was there in the beginning and stuff, and way back in the North River Ridge Runners, where we really originally started, where everything kind of got started for us and stuff. And has been a big part of it. A lot of people don't realize he helped us get the Carl Chevrolet truck when we had an issue and the old truck caught on fire, and so Jason's been there for either racing the series or really helping out the series from get-go. And my goal this year, for the series outside of the kids hitting 100, which we're really close to, was to get a house either referred or sold or something through Jason Mickelson and Century 21. So if anybody, is a part of that, whether, like I said, you're referring somebody, make sure they mention your name to Jason, and his daughter's selling now too, doing really well. And or you buy a house through them, or you're looking at it, reach out to them and just make a contact. And and if you end up doing that and the sale goes through, then basically we're going to work together and make sure they don't pay entry fees for one whole year. So if you do it in July, it's not just the last half of the year. We're going to do it the whole year, for one whole year. So 7 races, or heck, if you do it in July, it'll be a thing where we do it all this year and next year. How's that? So just to make it easy. So, but really looking forward to it. We want to show Jason some love. And we've seen that, he also not only does this part of it, but he does the adult 90s that we'll probably be talking a lot more about, in the future. But it's really cool. And we definitely appreciate everything he's doing.
Yep. Yeah. So kind of things got a little out of order as we were trying to get people on and get everything worked out. But I have the youth interview, Jason Mickelson, racer spotlight ready. So we can go ahead and get that. And then we can move on to talk a little bit about Mount Pleasant and Heartland.
Sounds good.
Iowa. And how old are you? 1. Hi, my name is Kolter, and I am interviewing
Taylynn Davis.
And Taylynn Davis, what is your hometown state?
Manila, Iowa.
And how old are you?
11.
What was your first ATV?
50 Polaris.
What class do you race?
Super Mini.
How did you get started racing?
When my dad started racing race cars.
Do you do any other sports?
Wrestling.
What is your favorite thing to do outside when not racing?
Wrestling.
Who is your favorite competitor in your class?
Jenna Berg.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a brother and a sister.
Who is your hero?
Dad.
Who would you like to thank for helping you?
My family.
Okay, so now we're going to rapid fire. So what is your favorite pop?
Dr. Pepper.
Favorite sport?
ATV racing.
Favorite ATV racer?
Walker Fowler.
Favorite sports team?
Wolves.
And if you could go riding with anybody, who would you pick?
Cole Brandt.
Okay, that is to wrap up the interview. Thank you for letting me interview.
You're welcome.
That was cool.
Work in progress. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a 10 question fire shot. So always good to get, we got one more to share. And then at round 4, we'll get a couple more interviews. Well, for Kolter. I think there's been some requests that other racers want to be the interviewer. So kind of neat to let them practice. Always will give them the time. Just got to come up and see me. Like we talked about the last podcast, preferably on Friday afternoon when I'm there, just because everything's a little hectic on Saturday. Unless actually this race only, since I'll be there Saturday night or after the race on Saturday, we could do potentially one Saturday as well.
Great. Then we only got a couple weeks before the next one, so we'll be able to get a couple here near future. So yeah, that's neat. I always tell you, Chris, it's one of those things when we do these, I hope everybody just learns at least one thing from, each of the racers that we spotlight. And here I am. I love wrestling, and I had no idea that she wrestled. So she'll definitely be on my radar. I want to see how she's doing. I know we got a couple others in the series that wrestle, and yeah, it's kind of neat learning that. So
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, kind of. There's common theme, I think, with some of these kids on who they look up to, what got them into racing, why they want to race. Once you hear and listen to the interviews, you kind of see a common theme that somebody related to, older brother, parent. So yes, all stays within the family.
yeah, it's always hearing who their favorite racers are too, and tying it all together. And hey, speaking of that, I got news. I got news for you too, Chris.
Oh, am I busy August 7th or 8th? Is that what you're going to ask me?
Are you busy?
Am I busy August 7th or 8th?
What's
August 7th? For a riding school?
Oh, there is a riding school. Yeah. Are you helping teach that?
No.
No.
Nope. I just saw that. Did you see that this week?
Yeah. Who's teaching that?
Adam McGill.
Adam McGill. Huh.
Very the Gator will be in town.
Well, you know what? You just stole my thunder.
You're welcome.
I was going to say, and this is why we don't practice. We just do this stuff. It's fun doing it like this. I was going to say we're going to have a very special guest on here next week to talking about something. And now I'll just go ahead and tell you that it will be Adam McGill will be on here next week and to talk about a couple little things. And there might even be a surprise announcement. So looking forward to next Tuesday night. So how's that?
I'm going to have to guess what that might be. I was just going to do, I saw them post out there. Thinking what, 2 sessions, one for the kids, and then potentially one for the older adults. But I saw there was only a limit of 10.
Yeah, so, and I think that's still an open door there. I think that's kind of a guideline to go by. Not saying they will change their minds at all, but the whole thing there is to make sure that you and I've seen it. If you've got a kid on a 50cc that's second year racer and you have a AA racer in the same thing, somebody's going to get held back, just because it's, it's just too far differences. So that's what he's really trying to do, I think, is get them narrowed down to the same skill, same age type thing. And I don't know. I think they're still talking about that. There could be some tweaks there, or it may stay exactly the same. It's not, not my right to even say anything about it. That's their deal. And so it'd be cool. I can't wait to hear what he's got to tell us next week. As well as I do, if Adam McGill is going to be talking and you want to predict what he's going to say, good luck.
Yeah.
There's one of a kind. So it's, we're excited to have him on here. And I think he's just such a great representation and of a racer, a true racer, and he doesn't go by the book. He doesn't go by a script. He says what's on his mind and, and in his heart. And, I think that's why people love him, and people are always excited to see the Gator. I think we've had 3 or 4 spotlights now, and 3 of the 4 have mentioned him as a favorite ATV racer, I think. So he's definitely making waves all across the country and just being real is what I call it. He's just being real and he's had some great races this year. So I'm actually very excited to hear what he's got to say next week and just talk to him a little bit about himself and the school and any other thing he wants to talk about. So looking forward to it.
Okay.
So, yeah. Before we get too much further, I want to go ahead. And honestly, I have not read all of this yet, but I had another update that I wanted to cover because I've had some people ask me, and I have not, with both the Edmondsons and with Mapes now. I have not been one to call all the time because I just know that they are super busy. They've got stuff going, and I just get updates when I get them. But I had at least 2 people this week, only being a Tuesday, have asked me about an update for Jericho and or Elijah, I mean. And anyway, I just like I said, I hate bugging them, so I did put a thing into Jerry today, and I got a response from him here just right before we came on. So I'm gonna go ahead and read part of this real quick, but just says basically Elijah is doing great. He actually tested out of rehab in just 4 days. He had surgery today on his head, and we are still waiting for him to come up to ICU from surgery. He will spend the night in ICU for observation and a final CAT scan in the morning. The doctor said he'll probably be released to go home tomorrow or Thursday.
Whoa.
Now, how crazy is that?
Good news.
I really thought we'd have like a big applause thunder there real quick. I'm just sure we were going to have that, but maybe at the end we'll have that'll pop up. But yeah, for him to have the opportunity to go home tomorrow or Thursday is, boy, you want to talk about the power of prayer right there. I mean, that's unbelievable. Yeah. So I just want to pass this on because I don't share stuff unless it is put out to me. And Jerry said, feel free to share this information. And he wanted to say thanks again to everyone for their support and thoughts and prayers. So it's just really, really huge for him to be in this situation, right now. We were all so scared and everything. And I know we've talked about 100 times, but again, it's, if you don't believe in the power of prayer, and, hopefully there'll be a book or something written about this, and, and it's just unbelievable. So very, very happy for them and his family.
That's some very good news.
Yeah. So we got another race coming up, and at one of my favorite places. It has been ever since the first time we went there, just because it's got everything. And I think it's a place where, lots of places either love or hate it, and this one, I think, even if you love it or hate it, I think everybody respects it just because, it's out there. You just can't duplicate it. It's got everything, especially when we can get through a little bit of the creek, and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. So, but Mount Pleasant's special for many different things, including started last year. It sounds like you guys did really well with the pit stop challenge. That'll be back for this year for the Jason Mickelson Century 21 Adult 90 class. So looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And then we have all of our ATV classes on Saturday.
Yep.
And then we're going to do something a little special. And this was planned. We've been working with NRA for actually 2 years. This was supposed to have happened last year, and then we had to move the races around. And so end up having to drop it, unfortunately, and they took it somewhere else. And this year it's like, we just want to try it one more time. And so we will actually be having a bike race on Sunday. So it's, I say we, but, when it all comes down to it, we're really not the ones doing the work. We're just kind of making it happen that weekend, and want to thank
Burlington Valley Dusters.
Yeah, the Burlington
I saw
Valley.
the name earlier. So while you were away taking the phone call, Ryan and Aaron and I were kind of talking about the Mount Pleasant and kind of the 2-a-day event, because Powersport Share.com, it was thinking about coming down to Mount Pleasant. So I said it would be a heck of a race to come down for the weekend, because we'll have ATVs Saturday and dirt bikes on Sunday.
Absolutely. Yep. So I just want to be really clear on this, Chris, because I've had some people text me and ask me, and let's get the elephant in the room, I guess you call it. I've had several people ask us if we're doing it just because we don't have side by sides. Absolutely not. Fair question to ask, but like I said, this was planned last year. It was on NRA schedule, and because of situation that I had last year, wasn't able to do it. This was on way before this year started. We've just been trying to work out the details, even as of lately, on this thing. But this has nothing to do with any situation that we've ever had in the series. This is just something that you got to think sometimes a little bit outside the box. We get nothing out of doing this whatsoever. This is a thing for the sport, to bring the ATVs and the dirt bikes together one time a year for a national qualifier. And, now that national amateur championship is being moved from Indiana to Kentucky. And it's also the first time it's not on one of our race states, which has always been the state fair race. Yeah. So now it's on the weekend in between the Iowa State Fair and the Heartland Challenge. So first name I think of here is Jason Malchow. And, if he can qualify and get out there, and there's so many different classes, just because you race the class that we have doesn't mean that's the only class for the national series. I think that's important to talk about when we're talking about the ATVs or the dirt bikes, Chris, is that you might have a C class, say with us or with the dirt bikes, just like say one C class or two C classes. But let's say you're racing ATVs and you're under the 16 to 25 C class. Okay. The national series might have a qualifying class of like, say, 16 to 20, and then they might have a 21 to 26 and a 27 to 35, they might have, 4 or 5 different C classes. So if you race, say in ours, whether it's a dirt bike or an ATV, and you race, let's say, just call it a C class, and you might get 4th place. Okay. But in the national series, and let's say they have a C plus 40. Okay. So if you got 4th place in our race, but you would qualify for the plus 40 race, in the C class, you would qualify for the national series. We just don't run all of the classes that the national series do. So you have to sign up that day in order to get your ticket to the national amateur championship. But if I didn't believe in that race, Chris, we wouldn't be doing the qualifier, and I think it's such a cool opportunity, even when we've been kind of promoting against ourselves, and had people qualify and go out there during one of our races or instead of one of our races. I think it's a big deal because I think it represents Iowa, in a really big way. So we've had people win it before, in just the first 2 years. We've had some of our racers win it and do really well. So looking forward to the opportunity to have that qualifier, that's for sure, and to do a bike race. And again, thanks to the club for, just to be clear, everybody, we are not going to try to step out and build a dirt bike track. Who is it that's building the track for us?
Burlington Valley Dusters.
Yes.
Only because I slaughtered that earlier, and Sabrina helped me out there in the comments.
So they actually are the ones, Chris, that do the IERA bike race at Mount Pleasant
in September normally.
Correct. Yep. So, and they do a great job. I've heard nothing but great things about that race, for the bikes, and they have volunteered to build our track for us that day. So they will be using different colored arrows. We're going to try to get as many of ours taken down, right after our races that we can. But it should be a really fun time. I know a lot of our people, I wouldn't say a lot, but I know some of our people are going to be racing both of them, both ATVs and dirt bikes the next day. I know if my boys were still here, we'd be taking advantage of it for sure, racing. But so, pretty excited to have that. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and kind of thanks for explaining that about the UTVs. I know I've heard the rumblings too. Just this has been planned, and of course with your situation last year, we weren't going to do it without you. So that's why we canceled it, and it was kind of pushed aside, and we didn't have an NRA race, right? I don't think we had a qualifier last year.
I think the qualifier got moved from our race last July or June down to Arkansas, I think.
I thought it was, yeah.
I think it was AXC that held it.
Yep.
Since we couldn't. So, yeah. So, but yeah, we're excited. We've gotten bike calls from guys in Minnesota and Illinois. So, yeah, looking forward to it. There you go.
Josh's going to race both.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of thought he might be one of them that would do both. So he's got a lot of history in both of them. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
So
What else you got?
Well, Heartland. Heartland's coming up, man. It's coming up quick.
Yeah. This year's Heartland Challenge keeps taking on more and more importance every day. So,
yeah,
we're sure looking forward to that. I think it's my fault. We're kind of struggling with sponsors this year without GBC, and I just don't think we've put enough into it. I haven't put enough into it. Been worried about the normal races and some of the challenges we've had early. But working on that every day, trying to get the time to try to work on sponsors. But, the big thing right now is we have some pretty cool stuff going on. I won't get into details on it, but maybe I can clear it with some people to talk more about it next week. But I don't even know if I filled you in, but there's some rumors going around that there's going to be a documentary made at the Heartland Challenge this year, celebrating a couple different things and the history and individuals, and we'll find out more about that and try to get that released. That's going to be just a really, really cool thing that I'm super excited about. So I know they're going to be working with Steve Mueller as part of our live stream, be able to get some filming from that as well. So we're working with a couple drone operators right now to keep that going for the live stream. So still working on a couple things there, but we do have a schedule that we're going to be releasing here in probably the next couple days. With some changes in the classes, with no side-by-sides this year, unfortunately. So we're getting that cleaned up, and it leaves us with the big question, of when we run what. And I'm kind of excited because I think we've got it pretty much nailed down now. And it's going to make things a little bit more relaxed and not be rushing and pushing everything. And just really looking forward to it. So we don't have a lot of teams signed up yet because we really haven't pushed it. But that's going to be our hot topic here moving forward from today on. The biggest thing is, I think the adults will start getting signed up. We do have some teams signed up now. I'm not sure exactly how many and not too worried about it quite yet. But the kids thing, Chris, is what I'm mainly concerned about. We have so many 50s racing, in the series right now, and it's really a race just for our kids. We welcome everybody, but we just know we don't typically get a lot of different kids in there. But having the opportunity to race with the team, and I always stress trying to do a 2-man team so you can have more teams and you get to enjoy the switching out like the big boys do, and stuff, and but we've got that separate race now for the 50s, and right now we have a 50 stock and a 50 production. But if we've got so many limiteds, if we start getting the limiteds wanting to get signed up, we'll throw a limited class in there as well. So, yeah, so we're really looking for that. We really want to push and egg the kids and the parents and getting signed up as quick as possible so we can really, get the kids going on that and knowing exactly what we have to deal with there. So,
yep. Yeah. So I've heard talks. People are talking, gathering, trying to come up with a plan and come up with a team. So talked with some at the last race. I didn't see registrations come through yet. So now's the time. If you're interested, get those teams together as quickly as possible, and that way we can kind of get a count on participation and kind of get a game plan moving forward. What should can spill the beans. Can we talk about a little bit? Can't like say maybe what's going to happen Friday or Saturday?
Oh, do you want to?
I think it's a good idea.
So we won't let out the exact times, or we can kind of talk about what we're thinking about anyway. And that is that we're really down to a situation. We had no intentions of not doing this, without side by sides, and when this was thrown at us to begin the year, and it's a situation where now we have a 50 class that we start a whole new race for, and that would be the only thing on Friday. And obviously that don't work out very well at all. So what we're talking about doing right now is running the 50s, running the 50s on Friday, and then running the 70s through the 150s super minis on Friday as well, Friday evening. And gives a lot more time to recognize them at the awards, have one writers meeting, approximately, we're going to shoot for like 10 o'clock in the morning. Everybody would be there for that writers meeting to clear up everything. We have plenty of time to answer and question and show, like how the impound works, how the start works, everything. Answer any questions that might be, instead of, it seems like we're always kind of getting rushed trying to get things lined up and stuff. Yep. And just have a lot more time to really focus on each race and each individual, and everything. And the starts, is a lot of fun. People maybe aren't familiar with it, but this is the one time we get to use the Le Mans style start, and so that Le Mans style starts where we have the racers on the bottom side of the track on the front stretch and the machines on the top, and at the air, when we hit the horn, everybody runs to the top, and you got to hook your tether up. I think we allow the adults, one parent, to be at the machine to help them hook the tethers up and take off. Yeah. So very unique start. If you have 2 people, you get 2 machines. If you have 3 people, you get 3 machines. You only get one, machine at a time. The machines that you're not using are an impound. You have to switch out, so you only get one machine no matter what at a time. It's just a very interesting race, and the different challenges we have in there for the adults and stuff. And the times, it's a 2-hour race for the 50s, a 3-hour race for the 90s. It's just really cool. So good opportunity, but basically we're looking at doing all the kids on Friday from noon to the evening, focusing on the kids 100%. And then Saturday being 100% focused on the adults, and on that big race and everything. So that's kind of the go-to right now.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. It's kind of breaking news even to you, Chris.
Oh,
haven't sent that out yet, have I?
Nope.
So we're really working on trying to get the flyer and everything done and get out there. So
you see Joshua's question about televised again.
Yeah. And thanks to Steve Mueller, Tire Spine. We are working on that. He is doing a live stream of it. You will be able to watch it from anywhere, basically, on that live stream. Situation again, where if you want your team to be involved in that, whether you're racing the Ironman or a team, is let me know, please, because we'll get you in touch with Steve. Not only to get your tire spines, but also to get signed up to, to have a camera basically on you the whole time to be able to show you and your team. And if everybody does it on your team, let's say you have 3 people and the adults, we're not doing the kids, only the adults. But if they have, say 3 people on there and all 3 are hooked up, you got to watch your pit stall, you're coming and doing on your pits, your impound switches and stuff, your scoring, coming through the different, versions. It's just really neat. So if you haven't seen it, we have a 75-inch TV outside under the tent at the right by the scoring that you can watch and see all the stuff. You can also see everything on your phone by watching the live the live stream or at home on the TVs. So it's just a really neat deal, but we'll have a lot more. We'll probably invite Steve back on here to talk a little bit more about that too. But if anybody's interested in that, please get a hold of us. If you're racing the adult race, no matter what class it is, we can definitely get you hooked up if you're interested in being a part of that. So, yep.
Oh, this is why we were wondering why Josh wasn't going to be around for the Heartland. He'll be on a cruise. Live scoring should still be working, Josh, even though kids won't be televised, so to speak. We'll still have live scoring going for him, so you can check that out.
Yep. And you never know. I don't want to throw anything at Steve, that he doesn't need extra pressure, but not doing it Friday. It might be something that, he wants to do a test, on the kids, and probably not have them on them, but be able to show maybe some different versions or different, parts of the track or something. So yeah, it might be something that he does come up with to do something on that, but I'm definitely not pushing it. He does a great job. It's I think that honestly, the televised part that he did is second to none, on really anything I've seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing it for sure.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is to get people signed up. If you have any questions on it, which I'm sure you do, it's a completely different race than you've ever seen before, unless you've been there. It's a lot of fun. So just give us a call. Let us know. If you want to race but don't have a team, let us know. We'll help you get hooked up with somebody that may not even plan on racing because they don't think they have a team. But if we've done it before, I remember, Chris, in the past, we had somebody, I think it was from Wisconsin, had reached out to us and had to end up getting them hooked up with somebody from Colorado and I think Florida, Texas. So we had a Texas, Wisconsin, and Colorado team all put together by individuals that wanted to come but just didn't have a team, so we're lucky to have as many racers as we do right now. The states around us, we're seeing more series pop up, if they want to come in and represent their series, as well as I do, Chris, in the awards and stuff, whether it's the announcing through the live stream now, we'll definitely show them, love the way that they're coming in, because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be there, so those local series need all the respect they can get. And I definitely want to make sure that we recognize them. So I know the probably one of the biggest ones coming that I'm aware of right now is the AXC is bringing several teams in. And I'll be honest with you, I've already told them as many teams that they're going to be bringing, we're going to save them a spot just where they can all sit together, on pit lane. So if we get another series wanting to do that, we'd do the same for you. So if, any other series want to come in, just let us know. If you're bringing, 3 to 5 teams in, which is pretty easy to do, then we would definitely save some spots for you to stay together. So I see that question about doing a 10-hour for the bike race. I want to make it very clear. We're staying out of the bike series points, anything like that, because, like I've said, I don't ever want to interfere with somebody else that's doing other races, whether it be their race tracks or their race series or their points championship or anything like that. I think the IRA does a great job. So we are not getting into the bike business. But we have had a lot of requests to do a 10-hour bike. We have talked to some of them people about making sure it wasn't at the same time as another race or close to it where we would be hurting them. We were really kind of looking forward to maybe doing that next year. But I think some things might be changing now, and I'm not so sure that's going to be a possibility, but it's something we're definitely still going to look at. But I think I would say right now the chances, I don't know, I don't want to say 50-50, but some things are changing that we were unaware of, and I don't know if that's going to be thing we can do now or not, but we'll definitely take a look at it for sure.
All right. Yeah, I don't see really any other comments popping up. There we go. We'll make sure we get a logo up there for the Heartland Challenge. So
With
yeah,
no sponsor yet. We're working on it though.
Yeah.
Be a great opportunity for somebody. And then also just throw out there real quick, we do have any companies, any racers that have some good dealerships behind them that want to be a part of it. We do have the class sponsorships. We're trying to get filled up. We did gain one more from the last one. So we really appreciate that. But yeah, so trying to get her done. It'll play a big part in the future of the Heartland. So fun race. It's like no other ones, often imitated but never duplicated, so
yeah.
A lot of fun.
So yeah, speaking of often whatever you just said, I've saw a comment here that people want a version of What's Bugging Andy this week.
Well, what's bugging Andy? What's bugging Andy? It's actually a pretty simple one this week. There's two things, I guess. One's really bugging me and one's tearing me up. Okay. So I'm not going to save it till the next week. I'm going to do them both right now, Chris.
All right. You do it.
And I screwed up because I am actually going to play a video. I did not get it sent to you, but I obtained a video from the last race that to me looks like it is cutting the course. And obviously we obtained it a little too late to be able to do anything about it. But I'd sure like to know more about it. I've said this at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to hold myself true to this, is we won't put up with this stuff. And it's just one of these things. They're racers. I hope you're going to start keeping, hold each other accountable and speak up and say something. And you'll never hear me say something if someone is definitely caught cheating or doing something. I think they should get the right to defend themselves, but it's just a sport where we just can't allow it to happen. There's too much time and work being built. If you want to find what I will definitely 100% call a cheater line, then you need to find a different sport, period. And so I hate it when we see these things, but we're going to start calling them out. And when I get the videos, I'm going to start playing them. So next week on What's Bugging Andy, we will play that video. I'll let everybody kind of make up their own mind on, what they think is, and if it's right or it's wrong. It's presented us too late to have been able to do anything about it. But it needs to be brought up and, at least let everybody know that we know about it, and it's going to be on a blacklist for us to be watching for sure. So, and I think everybody else will keep watching as well. So, and it came from a good video. It wasn't on the helmet. So it was a good video. So second thing though, on What's Bugging Andy is, man, it's going to be a hard one to even talk about, but man, it's just one of these things where our race family seems like we're getting targeted pretty hard this year, and if there's anything we can do to, to help out any way we can, we'll definitely do it. But, right now we have two individuals that could use any single prayer that we have, from everybody. And that's Cameron Mapes and Elijah Edmondson. Elijah's made huge strides right now, but it's a couple people that just really, had some bad luck come their way, and it's having to fight themselves out of a big hole right now. We've had another individual, at the race that stepped out in front of a racer trying to help, and was injured a little bit there, and from everything I'm hearing, she's doing really well. That's good. We've had another little one that, had a setback this year on a get off, and just a few more than what we're used to. And obviously the racing part of it, has been good. It's just, we're getting hurt outside of the racing. And now, unfortunately, we both, and well, I didn't even ask for his permissions. I hope he's okay, but with me saying this, but our website, our guy that does our website, Zach, just had an injury in the sand dunes, and that was a broken collarbone. And so just like we're getting a lot of stuff going on now, not necessarily a couple of them's been inside the series, but most of it's outside the series. So just one of those things to give your loved ones a hug and keep wearing the safety stuff. And, it really helps. So I don't want to see our race family get hurt and broke up like what we've been seeing here in the last couple months. So get together and be a family and race and sit around the campfire and talk about Priuses. That's what we need to do.
Yep. So, yeah, it's nice to see Zach. Sad to hear that news. I think, what was that, Monday? My days are really running together lately. That saw those pictures and the broken collarbone. So speedy recovery, Zach. And no, I don't need some tech support. I've got Andy here to help me out. The What's Bugging Andy graphics not working today. I think it's probably a server StreamYard issue here. I'll have to fix again. So that's what's bugging me. Technology is always changing.
Yes, it is. So it's bad enough when we went from a flip phone to a smartphone. And
it's still not made you smarter.
No, it makes me feel stupid. So Joe Lutz, I see he had a question there. Could an A rider race the 40 plus or 50 plus class in the national qualifier? So I believe the answer is yes, as long as I'll ask that question. Okay. We'll go straight to the guy and Chad Walker and ask him and see what he says about that. Joe Lutz would be a great one to represent, So, but yeah, I'll make sure we ask that question. Chris will remind me tomorrow what's a text message, and I will find out for sure and let Joe know on that. So, yeah.
What else you got? What else bugging Andy? What's a good thing that's bugging Andy?
What's a good thing?
Yeah.
Well, a good thing is the family's healthy, and I got a son getting married to a great gal on Saturday, and the family's all getting together for it. So, life's good. So,
good. Yeah. All right.
So, it looks like we did go over a little bit, though.
I mean, we did. It's past my bedtime.
I just now noticed the time.
I got some.
Jeez,
time flies when Andy's talking.
Oh, man. Here we go. It was a good night, though. It was a good night.
I mean, it's a lot to try to cram in an hour. We all agree. A lot of good things. We got to keep just trying to keep everybody informed on what's going on. That things have changed, unfortunately, a lot this year, out of our control. We're just trying to adapt and do the best we can.
Yep, it's a good way to put it. So, yep.
It's going to start getting busy again. So we were super busy. Got first 3 rounds. Got a little break here for some. Otherwise, we're behind the scenes doing what we've got to do for the next few races, right?
That's right.
Heartland, I just saw 49 days away.
That's scary.
I don't want to 49 days, 10 hours roughly.
Yep. So, hey, speaking of the Heartland, I forgot two things on there, Chris. I just forgot the one, but the other one is if there's any racers that aren't racing, that is one race that we would love to ask and beg for help. If you have a utility, or even if you're on a dirt bike or we try to stay away from the race machines because you can get too, familiar. The racers may not think it's somebody helping. Yeah, exactly. So, but we definitely could use some help there for sure. So, we're definitely looking for people to help out that way. And then also, we are looking for more tracks. So we are going to do something where, we build our own tracks, so we want to look fresh. We don't want somewhere someone else has been. But we build our own. So I want to make sure that we're looking for a track. If you have anything close to you, quite frankly, we want to focus on that northern Missouri to southern Iowa, central Iowa type situation. But if you have anything close to, or you have any questions for that, we are definitely looking for another track. Anything, the best race tracks we get, we develop from hearing from racers. It's the best ones we've gotten, so we took us a long time to build the track down there at Corden, and we had two brand new tracks. So we spent a lot of time on brand new track building as the last couple of years. And we're ready to go at it again. So we want to develop our own. We want to look at it. We want to have a good time and come up with another new track and show some excitement. So,
yep.
Sorry, Nick. There's probably slim chance that we'll get anything around Chicago. But,
road race.
But if we can get some kind of a race around the Bear Stadium, I will 100% do everything I can, Nick, to make that happen. So, yeah.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
What else? Yeah.
Well,
more comes. Sounds like a more information coming out next week, along with the Gator joining us.
Yeah. A lot of neat, fun, exciting stuff is coming in the near future, I promise. So we're looking forward to it. So, yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, sticking around, guys. We'll catch you next Tuesday.
We're only 6 minutes from 9:00, Chris.
Andy, goodbye.
Wait, I got one more thing.
Goodbye.